Mhm. Hello, happy St. Patrick's Day. I have my leprechaun hat for a minute because it's a little bit tight, but no worries. I have my green scarf and I have my green pendant that I made myself. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to say happy St. Patrick's Day and try to enjoy your day in a safe way and keep your social distancing and wearing your mask. Don't forget that. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about a comparison specifically about all the vaccines that we have available these days in the US specifically. And then I'm going to be dedicating a little time to hi, Tented Love. Hi, happy St. Patrick's Day. See, do you like my hat? Oh, it's upside down. My goodness. Hold on. Right here. Uh huh. Oops. Yeah, it needs the belt on it. There you go. Much better. Okay. So I'm a leprechaun right now. Um, I just wanted to compare the vaccines that we have available. And specifically, I wanted to talk about the cases or the issues that are reported in Europe and with specifically the AstraZeneca vaccine. There is issues over there and it's not good. It's not good, mostly because they're going through what we call the third wave or the third surge of COVID in Europe. And it's not looking pretty at all. So thank you. So I'm gonna take it off because it's tight, but happy St. Patrick's Day. Um, let's just start from the beginning. Let's start talking about vaccines and hold on. Okay, and specifically about how different the three of the ones that we have approved in the US work. Well, number one, we have Pfizer vaccine. That was the original one, the first one that we got. That vaccine is a two doses vaccine. It's a vaccine that requires a very, very low temperature to be frozen with, and it has to be under 80 um, Celsius, minus 80 Celsius, which is a ridiculous temperature. And you need specific freezers for that. And not everybody has the capacity to get them because, well, there's none. If you want to go buy one, you will not find it because everybody's buying them. So that's one of the things. The other thing is that the vaccine for Pfizer has a really, really high efficacy. That means that it works really well. And the difference in the vaccine doses, which is two doses, that means that you get the first one on day one, and then the second dose or the booster, you get it 21 days later. Is very efficacious. It has great results. It doesn't have that many side effects. Actually, that's the one that I got, and I got very mild for a few hours side effects, and I absolutely can tell you that there's nothing to fear about it in terms of what you can feel in uh, side effects. That's it, nothing big. Now, talking about the Moderna vaccine, it's also a two doses vaccine, also a vaccine that needs to be frozen, not at minus 80 degrees Celsius, it's minus 20. It's still very low temperatures, but easier to handle somehow. It's a vaccine that does not need dilution like the Pfizer does. Pharmacists understand what I'm talking about. Basically, you need to put a little bit of saline solution or water with salt, of course, medically grade. It's not just the one that you mix in the kitchen to dilute it, to make them less concentrated. And then you have to draw up the doses for each one of them, zero point 0.3 milliliters. That's what happens with the Pfizer. Moderna is you just draw them up. It doesn't need to be diluted. That's an advantage, but it's a difference nonetheless, which is what I'm trying to do today. And the two doses, which is also the case for this vaccine, you need to do the first day that you get your vaccination, and then 28 days later, you get your booster or your second dose. Both of these vaccines are what is called mRNA vaccines, which is the way that it works, the way that is delivers the information that the immune system needs to defend you from this vaccine, so they get heads up of what COVID could be. So whenever COVID comes in, if it does, then they already know what to do, how to do it, and get it fast, so you don't get the disease. Basically, is, as I said, heads up. They give the immune system like a wanted poster with all the characteristics of what the actual virus is. So it's easier for the immune system to identify it and say, hold on 1 second. Oh, you look like this. Oh, you have this and you have that. Oh, you're COVID. We're going to attack you. And we already know how, because they already develop antibodies that is precisely what is needed to stop the reproduction of this virus. So that's what a vaccine does. That's what specifically the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines do. Specifically, these two, they were created in the lab. They were created by computers, by somebody that did something with computers, which is something absolutely new that never been done before, where you don't grab the virus and cut it in little pieces and then say, okay, maybe let's try this if it works, and maybe not this one, and let's see if it works, which takes a lot of time, and it has the opportunity, or the possibility rather, of mistakes by humans. Being done by computer, you control all those possibilities, so all those possible mistakes, and is done way faster. That's why both of them were done way faster than any other vaccine. Then we have the other vaccine, that is the third one that is approved in the US, that is the one for Johnson & Johnson, or specifically from Janssen Pharmaceutical, that is the medication division of Johnson & Johnson. It's a pharmaceutical company that I know for years, that I have actually collaborated with. I've been doing translations of some of their studies or clinical information in Spanish. I have collaborated with them, so I know the company very, very well. And I do know that they have vaccines for years. They developed this technology that is completely different than the one from from Pfizer and Moderna. It's a different one, but works so well, and it's been proven for years, and it works so good that you just need one dose. That's a difference. Plus, this does not need to be frozen. It just in the refrigerator. So that's another advantage. It's different too. So, every vaccine is different. Every manufacturer makes different stuff, and, it works. All of them work. All of them have what is called efficacy on moderate to severe disease as well as death, which is what we're looking for. If you get a little COVID that is, a little symptom here and there, you lost the ability to taste or the ability to smell food. Okay, you have a little cough, that's fine. You can handle it. But those people that end up in the hospital and end up in an intubation, which is the case of my mother, for example, that's what you want to avoid. And that's what these vaccines are 100% efficacious towards. So if you get vaccinated, 100%, you would not be that bad. If you get COVID, you will not get it that bad. Have been proven across the board from all those three vaccines that we are talking about. I will repeat it: Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. We need to wait. Listen to this part. We need to wait at least 12 to 15 days after the last dose to be fully protected. So it's not that you just got the vaccine and you run to be around people that might have COVID. No, that's not what you do. You still need to be wearing your masks. That's why, because you're still not protected. Your immune system is like, what is this? What did you inject to me? What are you doing? I don't know who you are. And then the vaccine comes in and says, hey, I'm a vaccine. I'm here to help you. There is a really bad guy out there, by a guy that could kill you. So I came over to talk to you about it and to tell you what to do if you get it. And then the immune system is like, hold on, let me just talk to my bosses, because we don't know. And then they go to the ganglia and they do talk, and they said, yeah, let's believe it, let's just do what it says, let's get ready. And then the information travels across the army that is your immune system, and everybody gets informed, and that takes time. And it takes about 12 to 15 days. That's why we recommend that you wear your vaccine and you keep protecting yourself at least for 15 days after being vaccinated with the second dose. In the case that the vaccine that you got has 2 doses, that's the dose that you need to be counting the days, the second dose. Now, if it's Johnson and Johnson, wait 15 days. That's what we're talking about because it's just one dose. Now, Johnson and Johnson says that it's much better if you wait 40 days. So I would say if I would have gotten the Johnson and Johnson vaccine, I would have waited 50 days. 50 days after the dose, because, well, there's a lot of scientific reasons that I don't have time to explain right now, and I don't think you want to know because it's boring, but it's when I would know 100% sure that I am protected against moderate to severe disease of COVID after 50 days, based on the clinical studies that they published. So that would be my recommendation. People say 15 days, you already have coverage. It's not that high, but you still have it. So if I were you and I got vaccinated today with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I would start counting 50 days from there. And then is when I'm going to start loosening up my protection, and also the contact from other people that are at high risk. For example, a grandma that is 92 years old, you don't want to be in contact with these people directly without a mask and protecting you and without social distancing, because you can get them really sick because the vaccine have not worked yet. And if you got exposed, you might have the disease and you don't want to give it to grandma, or you don't want to be talking on your cell phone without your mask and then give it to your grandpa or your cousin or your neighbor that is 80 years old and has asthma to talk to somebody because you got vaccinated 10 days ago, because the chances that you got the virus within those 20 days after you got the vaccine, but you have no symptoms because the vaccine is protecting you, but you could transmit it, exists. So that's what I'm talking about, that you need to be protected. So keep that in mind. I talked about that specifically in these IGTVs a ton of time on here in YouTube. So please make sure that you follow these rules, because we have waited a year. We need to wait a little longer, but for good. So please keep that in mind and be mindful of it. And well, and then we have other vaccines that are available in other countries. For example, the AstraZeneca vaccine that we don't have approved in the US yet. There is a vaccine from Russia that I also talked about it here. It's one of the IGTVs that you can go find here on my IGTV channel, here on my Instagram. The account is the Legal Drug Dealer Podcast, and there you will find them. And I think it's already in YouTube. If not, it's coming very soon with that specific video where I talk specifically about this vaccine that works really good too. Then we have 3 Chinese vaccines, excellent results as well, all of them 2 doses as well. And then we have, I think, a couple more that are coming that we still don't have results. But in general terms, the ones that are approved and working right now, being used in the whole planet right now, are giving 100% protection to severe, moderate to severe disease. So are preventing hospitalizations and are also preventing death, which is what we want. And that's what they're approved for an emergency, because we are in an emergency right now with the pandemic situation. So having said all this, I have 15 more minutes to talk to you about what's going on with AstraZeneca vaccine in Europe and what the situation is. But before that, I would recommend that you go ahead and watch the video from yesterday, the IGTV from yesterday, because I talk about the third wave or the third surge that is coming based on what is happening in Europe. We assume that we will get it here in the States in about 1 or 2 months. So the authorities are already taking all the measurements that are needed, but I need you to be mindful. I wish, I hope, and I pray that I am wrong, but I don't think I am. So be mindful of this. It's coming, because when it happens in Europe, we get it a month and a half after with the first two surges. So there's no reason for us to believe that it's not going to happen here. The only thing that we have different this time is that we have vaccinated so many people. We're doing 2 million vaccines a day. That is just tremendous. That is just a happy dance situation. So that is the only thing that we have in our favor, but still it's going to get here. So for those that are saying, no, I'm going to wait until November to get vaccinated when the winter comes back, I would think about it. if you are eligible to vaccinate right now, I would think about the third search because, well, you don't want to be one of the victims, right? Um, Also, for those that are still, I don't know if I do, maybe perhaps, I don't know. I would say do your research, go talk to your physician and make your decision sooner than later because again, the third search is coming within a month or two and we don't want you to be caught by surprise. Okay? That's my recommendation to you. But talking about specifically about the vaccine in AstraZeneca in Europe, this is what is happening. There is in March the 8th, they got some reports that 15 people had what is called DVTs or deep vein thrombosis, which is that it caused a thrombo or a plaque of stuff like lipids or fats and um, collagen and other stuff and platelets are formed in veins that are deep and big in our bodies, and that those are cases that they're saying that was related to the vaccine, that people that received the vaccine a few days later got these events, and that was the report. And then there's other reports that have shown 22 people that have had PEs or pulmonary embolisms, which is a thrombo or coagule of a clot rather. I just did it in Spanish and my brain is still in Spanish mode. I'm sorry. It's a clot that travels through the blood from those deep vein thrombosis. And then they kept going through the highway that our circulatory system is until they get to those veins or vessels or arteries that are so thin, thinner than a hair that they cannot pass through. And then they get blocked. And then bad things happen, including, you know, hospitalization, people that cannot breathe, people that end up in the ICU, and including death. So they're saying that those cases are occurring they're attributing them to AstraZeneca vaccine because all these people that we're talking about, they vaccinated themselves previously with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Well, there's something that I want to say before I give you my answer to that, that is called pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is a branch of pharmacy where we monitor every single medication, including vaccines that are available in the market for people to use to make sure that it does not cause any harm. And if there is any harm, it needs to be reported. And the person can report it, you can report it, I can report it. I can report it as an individual, I can report it as a healthcare provider, I can record it as a pharmacist, and can record it as an immunizer. All those reasons are valid. It's a form that is called VARS. It's called Vaccine Adverse Reaction System, monitoring system. And if you write down vaccine monitoring on Google, you can Google it. It will get it to you. So basically, you have to write down the information that it asks you for. It asks you about your name, your date of birth, the person that not yours, the person that got the problem, name, their birth, date of when it happened, what happened, what the description of the situation, who was the physician that took care of this, what hospital these people were, so they can monitor and find out if what you're saying that could have been related to the vaccine, is it or not. And then the physician, when you go to the hospital, the doctors do their due diligence, and then they determine if, based on labs and all kinds of tests, to determine if that is the reason why the vaccine was the reason why you got this event. And once that is determined, they must report to these pharmacovigilance entities, whether it's the pharmacovigilance department within the company that makes this product, or the pharmacovigilance department within the public health department in your county, in your city, in your state, in the country, including the World Health Organization. They also get reports from all these entities. So until it's determined that these cases were caused by the vaccine, they would not say it was, which means up to that point, It's not been proven. Like the law, you are innocent until we prove the contrary, the opposite. There you go, same thing. So I don't know why this got out. I don't know why it's been a big deal. And I don't know why a bunch of countries decided to stop the vaccination with AstraZeneca vaccine as a precautionary measure, rather. I don't know why. I don't know why for several reasons. Number one, it's not been proven yet. Why are you going to stop vaccination right in the middle of a third wave, the third surge of COVID in Europe? It doesn't make sense to me. And you cannot stop something that is saving life so massively just because maybe perhaps, who knows? That is just mind blowing to me. So I don't understand the whys, but it's happening. Several countries within Europe have decided that they're not going to give any more AstraZeneca vaccines simply because they think, based on these reports that I'm telling you about, might be causing blood clots. So I think it's very irresponsible. Let me just give you more data, more information in regards of the vaccine and this blood clots. I have my information here. I need to find it because I don't want to give you information that is not precise. Because I spent 3 hours studying this to give you the exact information, because I don't want you to think, oh, Marilena just pulled it out of her sleeve. No, no, no. I just did my research, and that's why I'm reporting it here. So I want to start saying that these pharmacovigilance entities are working on determining if these cases of clots were related to the vaccine. I personally think that they're not. And I'm going to tell you right now why. Where am I getting this thought from? So in the past 10 years, and that's how far I went, the average number of DVT or deep vein thrombosis, which is the 15 cases that are reported in Europe, and PEs or pulmonary embolisms, which is the 22 cases that have been reported in Europe, which is a clot in their lungs, are happening every month between 100 and 120 times for every million patients or every million inhabitants. So let's say that you live in a city that has 1 million inhabitants, 1 million people that live in that city. Every month, between 100 and 120 of them are going to have these events. They're going to have blood clots, whether they have been vaccinated with AstraZeneca or not. How do we know? Because we haven't vaccinated anybody in the US with AstraZeneca, but the clinical studies. And this is from 10 years ago when we didn't even know that COVID was coming. So there's no relation. So when I tell you that for every million people, we have 100 to 120 cases of DVT, you think about, oh, wow, that happens a lot. I can tell you that I saw a bunch of them happening because I was an ER pharmacist and I was working there. That's my favorite place to work, by the way. Hello to all the ER nurses and doctors that I work with so far in my career. Thank you for all what you taught me and the experiences and the fun. For me, was fun. I can tell you that I saw a bunch of that happening. And back then, we didn't have COVID, much less COVID vaccines. So how come are you attributing this to this vaccine when it doesn't make any sense? So we have so far 17 million people vaccinated with the COVID vaccine for AstraZeneca in the world. 17 million. At least 17 million doses. So out of 17 millions, we got 15 cases of one and 22 cases of other. I can tell you that I would think, wow, the vaccine is helping with those thrombotic events rather than the opposite. Instead of causing these clots, actually the vaccine is helping them not to have the clot. Because if I normally get between 100 and 120 cases per million every month, and I have had 17 millions and I just got 22 and 15 cases, my goodness, that's a really good thing happening. Rather than being scared and stop vaccinating, I would say, keep going, people, keep going. We're running against time. And this virus is winning so far. Now, the entities and the political parties and the presidents or whoever is in charge of all these countries that have decided to stop vaccination because of this report are not scientists. They don't know any of this. And they're not listening to the ones that in their countries are telling them that. And they think they're protecting the community, but actually they're not, because they're preventing them from getting vaccinated and being protected from this awful virus that we all absolutely know that kills people. And those that don't believe that, I'm sorry, but you need to do your research from sources that are actually good, not a neighbor or any a specific TV channel. So this is what I think. If you need to get 2 doses to be fully protected against COVID, and the time that you need, in this case, in Europe, they're taking between 2 and 3 months to give the second dose. And you need to be fully protected against this virus, mostly now that we have this third surge. Why are you stopping the vaccines? Why are you delaying this? You know that people need to get vaccinated and wait at least 15 to 20 days to start getting protected. Why are you telling them that they cannot get the vaccine? Because they might get a blood clot? But blood clots are 120 cases per million, and over 17 million vaccines. We just had 22 and 15 cases. Why? And they're not proven that it have happened because of the vaccine. So where's this coming from? Somebody please explain that to me, because I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It kills me. It makes me feel so sad and absolutely feel that my hands are tied, because I can't do anything. I just want to go to these people and say, listen, read this, look at the data, analyze what it said, talk to your scientific people, because in science we should trust and make decisions that are important for the people that you are protecting. Because it's not what you think. Because if you're not in science, because if you're not an expert, if you don't know where to get this data, most likely you will not know what it is that you need to think, like you, right? So what's your job, whoever president you are? Your job is to gather a bunch of people that know, get a bunch of doctors that are advising you, and then get a bunch of scientific people and get advice to you, and get the public health people, and then let them tell you, and you learn, and you get all that information in your mental algorithm, and then you decide, okay, I think this, but this is not for me. This is for the people that have elected me to protect them. So I need to listen to the ones that know, that in this case are the scientists, right? And the doctors and the researchers, okay, and the pharmacovigilance people. Okay, this is what they're saying. We have a surge that is coming, a tsunami of disease that is coming towards us. We can see it from the distance because it's happening, as I was explaining yesterday in my IGTV video on the account called Let's Talk. I'm sorry, I'm so into the upsetness that I forgot my own account. Would you believe that? The Legal Drug Dealer podcast account on Instagram. You will see in the IGTV section that I have that video yesterday, and here too on YouTube, where I talked about the third wave and how many more percentage people are getting to the point that Rome is closed again, Italy is closed again. My goodness. And then they see that happen and they're saying, well, you know what? Let's just not vaccinate people because, well, that's a good idea. Hello, where, how, from what? How are you getting into that decision? Please explain yourself, because I don't understand it. Not that they need to report it to me, but they need to report it to the people that elected them, the people that their lives are being at risk because of their decisions. It's so sad. I'm so devastated. So that's what I wanted to tell you. That's what is happening in Europe. That's what is happening with AstraZeneca. I do not know the whys. And if you do, please DM me and tell me, or make comments down here and let me know. I I'm just too sad. So I just wanted to say really quickly, I'm done for today. If you like this information, please share it. If you are on YouTube, please make a comment if you want to make any, or subscribe to my channel. If you are on Instagram and you don't know who I am, my name is Marilena Gritani. I'm a clinical pharmacist, and I have this account where I inform about health in general, just myself and other people. Hi, Tasha. And related to health, and I'm here to educate you. And I do have a bunch of videos on Instagram TV or IGTV where you will learn not only about COVID, but about other areas of health. And I'm here to help you and to answer questions. If you have any, please DM me with them. And I'm also on Clubhouse. If you follow me there, you can find all the links on my Instagram links. You would see there all the rooms that I'm going to have in the future. And I will continue to educate the community with language and words that are easy to understand. So if you have any questions, please, just please send them there. My doctor is calling me because I have a follow-up appointment, and they're just calling too early, and I'm busy right now. Sorry about that. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the attention, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please be safe. Please think about getting vaccinated if you haven't. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me. See you later. Bye for now.
About the COVID-19 vaccine, visit our website at honorhealth.com/coronavirus.
Hello, you've reached Honor Health Medical Group, SHE. If this is a medical emergency, please hang up and call 911. Please use MyChart to send secure messages to your care team. To schedule an appointment or for questions about an upcoming appointment, press 1.